everyone, I am CA Vibhuti Narang. Welcome to our channel Voxcov Academy. So in today's video we'll be covering part 5 of income under the head profit and gains from business and profession, which will be specifically dealing on the topic presumptive taxation. Before starting with this topic, if I talk about the topics which we have already covered, so we have in detail talked about the meaning of income, what are the expenses which are allowed and what are the expenses which are disallowed under this head. A detailed video on all these topics are covered under 4 parts, so if you have not watched that video yet, you can just check the description box. The links are available of each and every video. In today's video, we'll be in detail talking about the scheme of presumptive taxation. Before starting the topic, I would request whoever are new to the video can please subscribe to my channel for future updates. Before starting or understanding the concept of presumptive taxation, we need to understand a concept which says about compulsory maintenance of books of accounts under section 44AA, which specifically deals with the maintenance of books of accounts for those individuals who have specified crossed their threshold limits. Now, why this section is important? Because to fall in presumptive taxation or to understand that section in detail, a basic understanding of this topic is required. So the law or the act says that whosoever are the specified professionals are required to maintain their books of accounts when they are crossing their gross receipts or income more than 1,50,000 in all the 3 previous years. So for the current financial year, to decide whether the books of accounts are to be maintained or not, for the last 3 financial years it need to be checked whether the income or gross receipts had crossed 1,50,000 or not. Who are these specified professionals? The list is given. One are the legals, lawyers, medical doctors, engineers, then architectures, accountancy, CA, CS, CWA, technical consultancy, interior decorations, film artists and CS, information technology persons. So anyone covered in this list and falling or exceeding the gross receipts or income more than 1,50,000 are compulsorily required to maintain the books of accounts. This is about the specified professionals. Then what about the non-specified professionals? In case of non-specified professional, the first category we have is of individual and HUF. Now, if any individual HUF having an income from business or profession exceeding 2,05,000 or 2,50,000 or gross turnover or receipts more than 25 lakh, and in case of non-specified professional maintaining a business having income from business profession exceeding 1,20,000 or gross turnover receipts exceeding rupees 10 lakh, then they are supposed to maintain the books of accounts. But there is one more condition to be checked. These limits need to be crossed in any one of the last 3 previous years. So it is not necessary that in all the 3 previous years, even in one previous year it is crossing, the compulsory maintenance rule will be applicable and they need to maintain the books of accounts. But this is for existing business. What if a new business is into existence? If a new business is into existence and in the first year or the current year itself the limit is crossed, then also this section gets attracted. Why we studied this section in detail was we need to understand why the presumptive taxation is required or what is the meaning of presumptive taxation. First of all, section 44AA mandates business or profession to maintain books of accounts. Secondly, for small taxpayers, they are not earning that much amount that they are able to do this tedious work every month or quarter or annually. This is not possible. It can be a tedious also, it can be a costly affair also to hire a professional and getting these works done. So just to relieve these kinds of taxpayers or small taxpayers, some sections named presumptive taxation are into existence just to provide these small taxpayers a good amount of relief. Now, when a person is adopting these sections of presumptive taxation, they need to declare their income at a specified percentage or at a specified lower rates, and they are relieved from this section 44AA. In between, there is a section 44AB which specifically deals about tax audit. on that we'll have a detailed video covering the practical aspects as well as the conceptual aspects of tax audit. So this topic or this video is specifically dedicated on presumptive taxation. For tax audit we'll have a different video on that topic. Now first section or the first topic of presumptive taxation deals with profit and gains computation of a business class person or a business account on presumptive basis. In this case the assessee must be an individual, HUF, firm. Firm means a partnership firm, but it will not include a LLP. So company is not included, association of person, body of individual, trust, any private limited, public limited company, no other category is included in this. The person should be engaged in any business except section 44AE. Now here it is specifically mentioned business, so professionals are not covered. Professionals have a separate section and they are not supposed to do a business mentioned under section 44AE, which is on goods carriage. So that business is also not covered under this section because we have a separate section, so it's not required under this section. They should not carry again 44AE business, any agency business. So any kind of agent business or your income earning any agency income, that is also not allowed to be covered under this section. Commission or brokerage income is also not allowed. The eligible assessee means whoever falls under these three categories, the conditions are satisfied, that eligible business turnover should not exceed rupees 2 crore. So the turnover limit is only up to rupees 2 crore, and if all the above conditions are satisfied, then the presumptive income will be 8% of the total turnover. Now what does that mean? If a business is maintaining its profit and loss account, for example, the sales are of rupees 60 lakh, then the net income will be 8% of 60 lakh, which turns out to be 4 lakh 80,000, and you need to pay tax on this amount irrespective of any other kind of income you are having, but income from PGBP will be 4 lakh 80,000, right? There is a small relief in this section also. Whatever gross receipts or turnover you are having, means whatever your debtors are, you are receiving that amount from that income before the return filing date, and also that amount is received directly through an account paycheck, draft, or an electronic clearing system directly through a bank account. If these two conditions are satisfied, instead of 8%, it will be 6%. The deeming profits will be considered. So for example, if the profit and loss have sales or turnover of rupees 70 lakh, the net profit will be 6% of 70 lakh, that is 4 lakh 20,000. So earlier it was 4 lakh 80,000, even though our sales was only 60 lakh, but now sales have enhanced to 70 lakh, then also our net income is coming out to be lower if the amount is received in the bank account, right? The next section we have, okay, before understanding the next section, whenever you opt for 44AD presumptive taxation scheme, it is clearly mentioned that this scheme or the profits at the lower rate will be declared for a minimum of 5 years in continuation. So if you have opted for presumptive taxation, you cannot go out for 5 years. If you do so, you'll be liable for a tax audit irrespective of the turnover declared. Now the next important section, which is specifically on professionals, which was not in 44AD, it is for the 44ADA. So it is profit and gains of profession on presumptive basis. The limit is quite simple. The assessee must be a resident of India. It should be engaged in the profession mentioned under section 44AA. The first and the second slide we discussed. The professionals who all are covered under specified professionals need to be those professionals, and the gross receipts should not exceed rupees 50 lakh. So what is the deeming profits we have? It is 50% of the gross receipts. So for example, if a taxpayer or a professional have a profit and loss account in which the sales is of 20 lakh rupees, then in that case the net income will be 50% of 20 lakh rupees, that is 10 lakh. Now we need to understand the last presumptive taxation, which is special provision for computing profit and gains of business of plying, hiring or leasing goods carriage. So if an assessee is doing this business and is having not more than 10 goods carriages at any time during the previous year, then only this section is attracted. So there is no turnover limit, but it is a limit on the goods carriage the assessee is having. So that should not exceed 10, it should be below 10. In that case, if he is having heavy goods vehicle, that is 12,000 kgs or more in weight. So 12,000 kgs means 12 tons, because 1,000 kg is equal to 1 ton. The presumptive income is in Indian rupees 1,000 per ton of gross weight, and it is on monthly basis. Even the part of month is considered to be full month. And other than heavy goods vehicle, then means if the weight of the vehicle is less than 12,000 kg, then it is only 7,500 flat per month. So nothing to do with the weight, but 7,500 per month is the presumptive income that is to be considered. For example, we have an assessee carrying 2 trucks, right? The first truck weight is 13,000 kgs, that is more than 12,000, and the second truck weight is less than 12,000 kgs, that is 8,000. So in the first case, his income will be 13 ton, that is 13,000 kgs means 13 tons, 1,000 per ton, so 13 into 1,000, and let's suppose it is for per annum, so it is into 12, so 1,56,000 is the presumptive income. And if it is 8,000 kg the weight of the truck, then 7,500 flat per month into 12 months, 90,000. Let's suppose he has 2 trucks of the same category, so it will be multiplied by 2, right? So this is how the presumptive income is to be calculated. These all deeming provisions or presumptive provisions are applicable, and whatever the limits are, either 8%, 6%, 50%, 1,000, 7,500, whatever the case is, these are the minimum limits. So you cannot go below this. You can have a income more than this, so it can be more than 8%, 6%, 50%, 1,000 or 7,500, but this is the lower benchmark. So if you show your income below these benchmarks, so if an assessee declares income lower than the presumptive taxation and his total income is exceeding the basic exemption limit, that is 2,50,000 rupees, then the assessee will have to maintain the books of accounts under 44A, also get the books of accounts audited under section 44A(b). So irrespective of the turnover, tax audit will become applicable. One thing more we need to understand, the consequences if we are adopting. The first thing is all the deductions are deemed to be provided. So in the net income, you are not going to take any other deductions. All the deductions are deemed to be provided under the 92% or 94% slab or 50% slab, right? The advance tax need to be paid by 15th March, and there is no need to maintenance of books of accounts, so hence no need for or no question of tax audit is also not there. So this was a small topic in which I discussed about all the sections of presumptive taxation. In the next video, we'll be discussing about partnership rules for the income tax rules, and this topic is available on my website under the head basics of income tax. So if you want the PDF version of this PPT, it will be available there. You can follow Voxcop Academy on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and LinkedIn, and you can please subscribe to my channel. That is my request, because you are loving the channel, but I request you to please subscribe to my channel for future updates and notifications. That's all for today's video. Have a good day. Bye bye.